at the West Virginia Railway Museum here in Elkins. Western Maryland went all out by their MOW Cadillacs. Pretty cool. I doubt if it had air conditioning.
I got a tour starting tomorrow afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else is here.
No, Saturday. Okay. They're tomorrow's their travel day. Okay. And I'll pick them up in the afternoon, take them to Graceland.
Oh, so you're gonna tour them around? You're gonna do it?
Yeah, always Graceland and one of the old.
Western Maryland Railway at Elkins.
Put together a
Western Maryland built the tracks for the train we went on today, the Flyer.
presentation. Yeah.
So basically people are gonna go to the.
That's a nice picture. Norfolk and Western.
Yeah.
We're used to it.
Yeah, a long time.
I actually miss it. One of my good friends, Hank, works there. Actually, I need to talk to him about that.
For sale for $300. B&O.
But anyway, this, I said, this is, they do great things, and I know they do the Polar Express and all that. They do plays with younger people and. We have space to have other kinds of events. They build it.
Now this is a cool little roundhouse. I used to have one similar to this when I was younger, very much younger, very much younger. Certainly wasn't as extensive. That's where I learned how to build track. I had these like this snapped together, similar to that. I didn't have any turnouts though. We'll see what else is here. This is not a very big place. It's right beside the Elkins Depot though. Some cool old lanterns. Lanterns with blue globes functioned like blue flags, indicating that under no circumstances should a train try to pass it. Blue flag violation resulted in termination. That's a blue. All right. Chessie work gloves. In the 1920s, West Virginia had nearly 4,000 miles of railroad tracks. Since the Staggers Act of 1980 deregulated railroads, able to shut down unprofitable branches. There are now 2,401 operating rail miles in West Virginia with CSX and NS. This is railroads are still the best way to transport coal. Nice. 2008 record was set. The U.S. produced 1.17 or 17 billion tons of coal. According to the AAR, 2020 coal accounted for 25% of originated tonnage for U.S. Class 1 railroads, far more than any other commodity. Okay. Even though the demand for coal has been failing, it's still made up a quarter of total tonnage for Class 1 railroads in the nation, and obviously a significant amount of profit. Grafton, where CSX interchanges currently with the Appalachian and Ohio Railroad, and I believe also NS. McConnell. Okay. Just mentioned the A&O, Appalachian, Ohio. There's a lantern they used. And this one was used by the A&O also. Track walker lamps. Pretty cool. The one on the left is from Bluefield, Virginia. This one is from Whitmer, West Virginia. They were powered by acetylene, which is carbide powder mixed with water. Kerosene cans from the B&O Railroad. Here we go. Everybody wants a speeder, but nobody wants this kind. Okay. This particular speeder was used by a Dr. Verdi Harris, 1874 to 1953, Virginia-born physician. Used this four-wheeled speeder to tend to sick and injured patients in the logging camps above Mill Creek, West Virginia. How cool is that? He also rode this to visit his girlfriend Stella White, which he married in 1912. And I guess that is him. Who remembers the Railway Express Agency? I'm sure a lot of you old guys like me do. (1926). Cannelton, West Virginia. You know, they used to have horses go in the mines to haul the coal out. Look at their hard hats. You think I'm kidding you? You guys know they also had canaries in the coal mine, too. If a canary fell over and died, the miners didn't go in because of the black damp. Killed the birds, it killed the miners. A lot of the mines, like Buckeye Mine there, where we at, used to have the stables underground. As horses got under there, pulled the wagons of coal out, and never saw daylight for most of their lives. Just when they pulled the wagon out and went right back in. They lived underground. Oh, what we got here? Doesn't say much about it other than it's on loan from a certain collection. Okay, very good. Hey, railroads enter West Virginia. Of course, the big ones were the Chesapeake and Ohio, the Baltimore and Ohio, Norfolk and Western. Of course, C&O and N&W, their bread and butter was coal. Okay. The Virginian, the Western Maryland. A major part of the Western Maryland was coal and lumber. And railroads in the northern panhandle were the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Pittsburgh and West Virginia Railway, and the Wheeling and Lake Erie. Of course, you know the B&O, Western Maryland, and the C&O formed the Chessie system, joined to form the Chessie system, which they merged with later Seaboard to form CSXT, or CSX at the time. And of course, Norfolk and Western merged with Southern to form Norfolk Southern. I'm sure most of you guys already knew that, but here's something that a lot of you younger guys may not know. I'm sure a lot of you older guys that know about coal mining know about the company store. And the companies, and we'll give an example there in Nemacolin, Pennsylvania, where I live, the Nemacolin mine, Buckeye Coal Mine. They built an entire town, okay, for the miners. And down at the middle of the town, they had the company store. And it supplied all the miners' tools. They had to buy their own tools back then. Also supplied the food for the miners and clothing, everything the miners need. They wouldn't need to leave the city or the town of Nemacolin, everything. And the, as you see here, the miners paid for everything with company scrip, okay? And that company scrip was basically a piece of paper. It says you owed the company X amount of dollars, and they would take that out of your next pay. My grandfather lived in Nemacolin and worked at Buckeye Mine, and that's where they got most of their stuff, was at the company store. And actually the company store in Nemacolin looked very similar to this building. Didn't have as many steps. That's a little history lesson.